Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Ich warte seit Wochen auf diesen Tag und tanz vor Freude über den Asphalt. Als wär's ein Rhythmus, als gäb's ein Lied, das mich immer weiter durch die Straßen zieht. Komm dir entgegen.
Hello and welcome to Gegenpressing, the Bundesliga podcast. This is the bonus/transfer show. I'm Manu and Stefan Piankowski, and of course Stefan, this being our last week of the year for Gegenpressing. A little bit of a different format this week as we kind of put a bow on 2023. As we said on the main show, which was also the previous show because of the English Woche. 3 shows this week, no shows next week, so just adjust accordingly. But Stefan, first of all, how are you holding up? I know it's been really busy, not just here, but also at Transfermarkt, both of us kind of putting the final touches on everything that we need to do before we close out the year. How are you doing? How are you holding up?
Yeah, I'm doing well. It's the kind of, what's the opposite of the calm before the storm? The storm before the calm, I guess.
Yeah.
On Friday, I'll be clocking out, putting my feet up, and eating and drinking my body weight in red wine and cheese until January. Basically going to some sort of drunken hibernation for the next week and a half. And then, so I'm just kind of dreaming of that, to be honest.
Yeah, you and I are going to turn into grizzly bears, essentially.
Yeah, more or less. But yeah, no, it's going well. All things considered, it's not bad at all. And luckily for us, we've had plenty of drama to kind of dive into. This year has been crazy, and it looks like the Bundesliga is going to be absolute mayhem up until the final match day of the year.
Yeah, I mean, we're recording this on the eve of the Wednesday games. Obviously, there's probably going to still a lot be happening there. This is a show that will be 100% dedicated to Borussia Dortmund, considering with everything that's been happening, Stefan. Another draw, a very disappointing result against Mainz. And I don't know how you felt about this game, but it started so well with Brandt scoring, right? Then obviously the equalizer came, which would have been the save of the season if Kobel had made that stop before the line. Then of course the goal line technology stepped in and gave the goal to Mainz. We have to go all the way to match day 12 now for the last Dortmund win. And, they are dropping like a stone out of the top 4. Depending on how results go today, if Stuttgart win, of course, it could be as many as 6 points out of the top 4. Yes, at the moment, the Bundesliga has a 5th Champions League spot. And considering the way the Champions League draw went, there's a good chance that they could keep that. But you cannot rely on this. And Champions League football for Borussia Dortmund, I mean, the title is gone. Let's don't even talk about that. That's gone, right? But Champions League football for Borussia Dortmund is essential, Stefan. And now we're here. We have a discussion about Edin Terzic. We have a discussion about Sebastian Kehl. Not to forget about Hans-Joachim Watzke, who left the game early yesterday. You could see him step away from the VIP lounge and go wherever, I assume, downstairs to talk to the players. This is a really difficult situation Dortmund are in. And I think until January 12th, when we come back to play football again, this could be one of the most difficult periods in the club's history, probably going back quite some time.
Yeah, Dortmund have had some pretty disappointed head coaches since Jurgen Klopp. But I think the most interesting thing is that none have ever really perhaps been so firmly placed upon the throne as much as Edin Terzic, and I think that's the really fascinating thing here. You can kind of discuss how does Terzic compare to Thomas Tuchel or Lucien Favre or whoever else, Marco Rose, but the kind of context that we kind of need here is the fact that he was this kind of young coach who came in as an interim, and then he overshadowed the last head coach because he was kind of cherry picked by Watzke to more or less sit on the sidelines and wait for his turn, almost like the king-elect or something, or the successor or the heir to the throne, just kind of mildly biding his time in the court until his dad kind of popped his clogs and he could sit on the throne. That was kind of the weird vibe he got when he was in that kind of made-up ceremonial role while Rosa was in charge. And there was a palace coup, Rosa was sacked, and Terzic was placed on the throne ahead of schedule. And this is the kind of direct consequence of that. And I think that's what's kind of left a kind of bitter taste in the mouth of a lot of Dortmund fans. A lot of them also have a lot of time for Terzic. He seems like a nice guy. He's obviously a Dortmund man through and through, and presumably thought he was getting the job of his life, or his dreams rather, when he did get appointed to this job. But the manner in which he is Watzke's man just kind of adds added pressure to it, because there's obviously a huge amount of pressure on Watzke himself and his relationship with the fans, which we could probably do an entire show on alone. And in many ways, this is beginning to feel like more or less Watzke strong-arming or forcing the club into a certain direction or path that maybe isn't for the best in terms of sporting director. And it's almost a safe face, as opposed to, if it was a very simple, unemotional sporting decision, then, I'm not entirely sure Edin Terzic would be in charge of Dortmund right now.
Thank you for listening to Believe. You can show support to your host by subscribing to the show and giving us a 5-star rating on your preferred platform. Check us out at Believe.com and search for BLEAV on YouTube.